Putting matter state like copper, what you call dust or whatever, now you're dictating the energy which you want to be released, which can be at the level of your consumption. So next time when you're in another space, if you change your systems from, let's say, electron vibration in another environment to a plasma of let's say you want to use to produce, let's say, carbon only, you create a filter here that it allows you only carbon conversion, and you collect carbon energy level, and then you convert this energy level to carbon as a gas or a matter state or whatever you need. This is the important part of this teaching. If you understand the filtering, here we do the plasmatic filtering. Here we do interface between the plasmatic and the matter state filtering. For some of you will jump across this, you understand it very quickly. Some of you will take time. Here you're using with the plasma state. Again, you have to decide what you want to do it and how much you want to filter out of it. One is the load and one is to your direct, what you call, supply. Is there a need in the coming time to connect your systems to the power supply of the house and then see production? What we see and what we will explain in the coming time is that if you are using the power supply, power generators, please understand one thing. A lot of systems, as we've been told, like the Italian systems, they only show power consumption out, what is used. They do not consider what you put back into the grid. So what you see, you're still paying the power use, but you don't see benefit of what you're putting out. So what you need to do in the cases like this is disconnect yourself from the power supply of the grid and connect yourself to your own system production. This is one of the things we teach as we come to it. Once we release the commercial unit, videos will be made. We will never publish any paperwork with this because everything will go on the internet. Teaching, you're advised, do not operate your system till you've seen the documents on the teaching. You have to sign you've seen it, that you can use the system. So you will understand in the coming time, some countries like Italy have blocked the reversal of your meter into the grid, which means you will never see any benefit. You still keep on paying the same bill because only shows your power consumption. In these cases, you have to make arrangements that you disconnect yourself from the system, that you create yourself a new power supply. The same thing is, as we said, these are changes to come. That is inevitable. It's not that we try to do different things, it's that we see problem, because I had Giovanni telling me this is what the problem sits in the Italian system, and I explained to him this is how he has to be done. Because if you look at the setting in the lab, which we've shown you, we have 2 meters. We have 1 meter which shows what is going into, and we have 1 meter what is coming out of, and we are at 5.5 times, and in other systems we are 3 times. These things we have no control over. Depends on your national grid, how you set up is, because if they don't allow you to feed back, you don't get benefit by it, but you still see the consumption to be paid. So you have to decide, and it needs experts to connect you to these systems. You cannot just do it yourself. And there is another point which is very important. What we've seen and we explained to you, and you've seen in the test in the lab, is that you see we have a plug, and we plug our system like the fans into this plug. And then we connect this into the grid or to the plug system of the building, and then the other side is connected to the beads. Yeah. So what you have to realize is that wherever you connect this connection of the to your supply counts. If you make this connection in the room and you connect to this, whatever you use in this environment is applying to the system. If you connect this at your meter point of the interface, then you cover the whole house. In some cases, you are on different phases. You have to know which phase you're operating in the house. You might be using 2 different phases or 1 different. You have to allow the people who understand this to come and adjust and control this. The energy unit is as a point. So when you use the system, you can disconnect yourself at a point from the main supply of your supplier, and then you operate on the different section. But don't forget, everything in your system then is on the AC/DC, accepted as the system needs it. So you have both AC and DC supply into the system. The changes, the conversions of technology is inevitable. It cannot be stopped. So this is a new technology that a lot of you are testing. In the coming time, I explain more and more in this because it is important for me to make sure that we all understand what is happening. We showed the spring system in the last day of the teaching in the center without people understanding much explanation and difference in it. It had to be done to stop people getting disappointed or not being able to understand what has gone wrong or why the system keeps on blowing up and you cannot make connections. We answered to some people on the emails, but in general, as I see these questions rising again and again, it had to be done because in the coming month, you will see new developments. As I said, I brought the spring system into operation, into explanation, that we are clear that the system is getting set up for lift system. In a coming time, most of you, if we progress the right way, you should be able to use your systems for lift and motion. Because what has happened, as the AC flows in your car, and as your plasmatic AC flows in the car, as we're seeing, as the whole car gets controlled by a given system, then the emotion 5-star comes into operation, lifting and positioning. We are stepping towards the lift and motion collectively than one person showing or one person doing. We do not go into the details. If someone shows it that they understood and they reach that level, then we open the door in teaching in that level. Till then, we'll wait for the majority to join us to understand. A lot of you are still working on the beads. A lot of you are have started working on the spring condition. But don't forget, even this spring conditions we shown is a temporary positioning. As you have seen with the systems which we showed with Marco, we have already gone into the plasmatic gas state operation. So you are a couple of stages behind, and even this transition gas plasmas, if you go on the teaching of the last session in the new center, you see the little what I call gas balls. You see the gas balls sit in a specific position in respect to the base reactor and upper reactor, that with them, when we start controlling, we can dictate the direction of the flow. In conjunction, if you look at it as a layer, the beads, these are your reactors, and then you have your new plasmas here. Then you see how the base reactors with the condition of these beads will start creating its own star formation, direction of motion, emotional interaction, and the rest. I have seen a lot of people asking, especially in Austria, about the defense and control of environments which is they think they're getting attacked by. If you can develop this technology, you create your own plasmatic barrier, psychological or mental. Hopefully, if you're allowed, we show this in full understanding in a conference in the coming weeks. But we are waiting for clearance that it can be explained and be done. This is part of the control of the system in totality. If you decide to test, if you already have tested nanomaterial, GANs material, without digestion, without contacting the physicality, please note, all our teachings from Thursday is people who have used the GANs material or nanomaterials by not the actual nano layers or GANs to come in touch with the physical body of the man. If you use the water as a transfer of energy, it's a different point. But you cannot digest. If you have digested nano material or GANs, we don't want to know. Then you understand the reason why. I explained to you here in a very simple way the condition of the filtering. How you filtered here and how you create a filter here. When you digest direct GANs material, you create this condition. You create a horrendous condition. When you drink it as a water plasma, you pass it through, it does not convert. If it's not needed, it goes through. When you drink gas material, when you absorb or put nano layers in touch with the body of the man, you create a filtering, permanent filtering. This is where the danger comes. So now you understand why part of the teaching of today is important for Thursday teachings, because now you, this way, you use, when you drink a water with a GANs outside and what is the content of material, is like here. The body takes what it needs in the plasmatic state without going through matter state. In here, you have preconditioned. And this is the danger. That's why we say nanomaterials, anything connected with nanomaterials cannot physically enter the body of the man. There is a note that you've seen, we have put, Dr. Elia Kostova has asked all her names to be removed from all the Keshe Foundation's websites. This, we understand the reason. We understand exactly what she has asked for this to be done. We have respected her wish. We'll explain to you in the coming days the reason behind it. But it does not affect our work. She's one person in 7 billion. She participated in teaching, and so she has now asked her name to be removed. She's a single doctor in the millions of doctors and scientists, and every one of you is a new scientist. At the same time, we see collaboration and cooperation of millions of you, which will come into the teaching of the Thursday onwards. Whatever you've seen, some of you have already started using the recommendation or the way Renan has shown. He's covered the nanomaterial that does not physically touch the body. That's why we allowed him. He shows the prudence and correct use. In the case of Dr. Elia Kostova, she just went into the body, and now you understand the dangers, what is in there, and we explained it before. We support prudent application. We support prudent development of the technology. And we see the next 4 or 5 weeks as a human race collectively collecting data for the application of the new science for human race. Instead of waiting the knowledge to be reported in 40 years, in 30 years to suit who, now you test, we put a form on, you report what you've seen. We try to make a division, for example, for migraine, for toothache, for skin lesions, for a stomach. Some of you will go to the extent of using for cancer and the rest. We respect that. It's your decision. We put the warning on. I've asked Brendan to continuously put you do these things on your behalf for human race, not for us. You just report to us. We are collecting agency for human race in the new development of the technology for space. So instead of sponsoring and paying millions to the companies to do, you do it by yourself. Whatever you do, you decide to do is your decision. But if you have used it and you've seen the benefit or damages of it, please report back to us. Fill in the form. In coming time, we try to make a chart that you can see success rate in migraine, success rate in Alzheimer's, success rate in whatever. The reason is you have to understand the background of the Keshe Foundation work. We are one race, one nation. No borders, no barriers, no nationhood, no race. Those who work around the Keshe Foundation, working on the same ethos, share knowledge this way. Those who want to abuse it, to see it as a negative, they have paymasters. We respect them and their paymasters. But you have to carry on. We have to go through the phase of development from matter to a plasma into the space technology. So use the materials, use the GANs in a way which is protected, never comes in touch with the body externally or internally, but you can transfer its information. Use, understand. Please, when you start using the nanomaterials, remember all these teachings, because then, in fact, your body is at the end of descent. Here you see an electric motor, you see a computer. But in fact, when you use a GAN system, you're at descent. You decide you want to be a safe process, or if you want to danger yourself. Those who want to patent and they run around trying to patent the technology under different names, I have a very bad news. World intelligence security people have been alerted for people who are taking different names of the technology trying to patent. Anything with a Casimir effect on the world patent and participation is being blocked as of yesterday. We don't hide, we put everything on the table. We've seen how Renan has done, we've seen how Alekz has done, we've seen how the Mexicans have come on, we've seen how the South Americans are participating. Now we see in China and India, a young boy is coming on the scene, developing new technology. Everything is on the table. Those who have to hide till they do, they have a problem. In technology, we hold technology back till we have a full confirmation of the development. There are a lot of developments are going around the Keshe Foundation in the background, because we have to have 100% proof of the correctness before we release it. It's not that we are hiding technology from you, it's just we're developing it to the point. But if you develop and you go into trying to commercialize or to sell the technology under different names to different people and companies, then you already have it stolen from yourself and from the foundation. So please understand the change today. First of all, understand that your energy systems are changed. I explained the foundation from the beginning, how it's changed. How the plasma energy has to be changed to a given package electron plasma vibration, not the energy of electron. Understand the terminology I use. Electron plasma vibration, which means the energy released from the vibration of the electron that allows a system to run. Is not the energy of an electron, because electron does not open its plasma totally and give it to you. You have a vibration. That vibration of the bandwidth releases a package of energy, which is very minute. And your plasma releases that energy as a DC, as a plasmatic condition. So understand the process, add to the process, add to the knowledge of humanity, that collectively we can head for a better change. Please participate, as many as you can. When, as they say, you're 20 light years away from Earth, for a pharmaceutical place to find the reason, run a trial, find the money to run a trial and send it back to save your life, because they've never seen such a disease, or with you understanding the transfer of plasma, you can find a solution for the disease and then you share it with the rest of the people in the space. This is how I overcome it. This is what it is. In so many ways, we become one nation, one planet, one universe. Because the diseases we get in the space is not for the other creatures, it's for humanity. And if you are in one part of the universe, you should be able to share it with other humans if they come across it, what to do with it. You can see the direct of expansion. Do not be worried about somebody who will tell me this, I get harassed. Nobody can harass. There is an international law. What you do in your house is your decision. Nobody can tell you what to do and what not to do. This is your right. And if you decide to share that with the rest of humanity, it's your right too. We don't, there is one, and I repeat, do not please use any GANs or any nanomaterial for entering the body, touching the body directly, or be consuming them directly. And then join us. Share the knowledge with the rest of humanity. Understand this process. This process, I repeat again, is vital. Understand how much energy in how you create filters, that even the energy from the gas is converted into the water or to the skin or through the brain or whatever. This is very important change. This is a vital important change in understanding of the technology. How you decide where to be, and teach us. We open the health. We taught you the teaching with the plasma. We taught you the teaching with the GANs. Now we do the health collectively together. Not as one, or as Alekz, or as Rena, or as the guys in China or whatever. The health, I deliberately open the health worldwide. Every one of us is responsible for the health of the other. Because if we don't do, we have to give through our souls to save them. Humanity is one soul. So I encourage you, anywhere around the world, anywhere you have access to any internet communication, ask people to join in. We need to collect data in a very simple way. We don't intrude the body, we don't take material. We use the fields of the universe to change the field of humanity at the level of the humanity, matter level GANs.
Okay, so I was working on my peace reactor. So you can see there is a 4-star Mason unit in like inside. In the middle, this is a control panel. So 1 second, I will explain everything what I. So
you have in a way drawn what I explained last teaching. To place this is what you're showing us, is what Marco showed in physicality.
Yeah, but they did it a bit. This is like spiral, but how the like if you follow the galaxy, how it's like
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
and it's like
understand. I
gravitation.
can see it. I can see what you've done. It's the same
What
process. Yeah.
then? What I
Okay.
was trying to do extra, I was thinking not to use motors, but to make again the gravitational and magnetical go in and make the force, the fields interact by the movement of the plasma.
This
So
is, I explained this to you in the teaching, that the creation, most probably if you go into the, what I call the private teaching, the class teaching, you, with the way that we shown this system with Marco, is the current flow as you drain it to use for electricity or for running your system, this creates a dynamic flow of the plasma that you don't even need the cores in the base anymore. This
okay.
is the next step you're trying to, so, but we explained this before in the last couple of teachings. I understand what you're trying to do, and it's very nice to see the way you're drawing it. So, in fact, you should not need, you're going very fast. It's amazing how you're developing. You have the insight, but now you have to extend it into reality. Marco's system is a good reference. The system which I designed, Marco put together, it does exactly what you're showing.
Okay. Yes, it's a combination of teamwork, and then about the extraction of the energy, because everything is locked up. So I was like trying to feed everything back to the like mother core or the free plasma, and then like you see they're going in like from the magnetical and gravitational. So and like that you can direct the you know from in where you want to tune in.
How do you do it? Because in the
Because
Alekz system and in the system we shown, we create a flow through what I call gradients of the fields. How do you do it with yours?
So this is free plasma. This one goes in to attach this nano pin. It doesn't go through. It goes just, let's say, till here, and another one as well, like to attach the plasma. So then I was thinking, like, if you, example, go directly and take it out, because idea was to, if you want to connect to the some electric power, basically you have to draw from these ones out, not when we usually was taken from the wires, but we draw out from this one. And then, like example, if you take it in from the middle, it's supposed to be too strong. So that's why these pins, from when it comes from the outside, I made it like in this way to attach. So
Yeah,
if
you see what happened if you go back on the drawing, especially ask the cameraman to look into the system which was on the table with the balls on the last teaching. We have created a gravitational ring and a magnetical ring, and Marco has put two beams, which is like adjusters. You can
yeah,
adjust
it's
to increase
exactly the same thing.
yeah. This is, I've seen, because we already have that designed by Marco.
The thing what I was made different, you extract from here if you want to drain, you drain from here, and you still can,
From where? Can you explain what you mean there? Where is there?
okay, so
Use the
example,
blue.
blue, okay. So from here, you take it here, and you take from here, and then you connect it to main, or
This
wherever
is,
you want.
yeah, this is correct. This is what we've shown with the 2 points. You decide the different strength in magnetical, and you decide different strength in gravitational. Go into a very close up of the unit. You're breathing down your microphone. You go very close to the drawing of, to the actual unit which Marco, we sat on the table. You see two very dark metal bars which are sliding on two pipes in the center.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So what you're showing us is what we've shown there. Now you're trying to do what we've done it. There are some problems there. If you're trying to develop this, talk to me outside. I explained to you the points you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And the other point is that this way, with the sliding as you shown in the blue, you can decide the strength of the magnetical and gravitational. This way you create the isotopes of materials.
Yeah, this was another thing that I was
Yeah.
just example, if I'm tune this one here and
Can you open your drawing, please? Because we see very narrow. Okay.
So example, if I'm tuned on this one, like
I can't see.
magnetical.
Yeah.
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 I tune here, and then I'm tuned this one. So they will gonna look up. So here and here. So the idea is will be the fields will be interaction here. So the point of reference or point of the speed or the instruction will be this part, right?
More or less, yes. But the way, please go back on the drawings of, actually not the drawings, but the unit which is on the table. I said in the teaching of last Thursday in the center, this is one of the most important, beautiful units which we could put down on the table for the new plasma technology. Because now, look at the magnetical. Your magnetical, where you put a blue line, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is your fixed, what we call Coulomb's barrier for energy of the matter, yeah?
Yeah.
And then as you change the gravitational, your other blue dots where you just made a loop up and down, then you can create like one neutron more, one electron, one neutron less, and see and measure the behavior and the size of this unit which you put there and be shown is the prelude to making a system for measurements of all the gravitational magnetic field of all the matters in the universe, being on the all the fields of the universe, being on the plasmatic principle to matter to transition. This unit will, and then if you use this in conjunction with your 3-star formation, then you will see how you can create different gravitational to go lower. You move the one you put the gravity, let's say, to the center, so you increase the gravity, and then you increase your magnetical, you give yourself shielding. There is one point. If you go in the center of your thing, you have put a little black circle, yeah?
Yeah.
That black circle, you can do something because I add to the knowledge because we are using this in another part of technology development. You can put a ball of GANs in there. If you put a ball of dry GANs, wet GANs, doesn't matter. It doesn't need a connection. But now you have a source supply. You create what you like to call a principal ball matter. So if you put that circle there, because we are using this in the development of the technology somewhere else now, I can add to the knowledge that everybody else knows too. Because this way, if you do without the application to the base 3 reactors, this system can be used for energy on its own.
Yeah, I thought so because it's. Yeah, continue.
And then if you change the field strength of, let's say, base reactors, and where you have that ball, which I said you can put the GANs, and we manage to bring the free plasma to sit in that position, or you move your plate up and down, that the free plasma comes in the center of that point where you have now your circle, then you have a full universal system. Go back on the teacher when we showed the new star formation energy units designed in Italy. I showed you the grooves on the side that we can move the plate up and down.
Yeah, I remember.
This is for our purpose. This is for our purpose. Then you don't need to put a GANs. But if you want to create a single energy unit control, you put a GANs in there, so you have continuously sun which radiates, and you pick up by your gravitational magnetic field connections. You are very, very in line, up to date with what we are teaching, and it's fantastic to see this. I love people in Malta. you have a different mentality between Africa and Europe, and you see things totally different in a very clear way. It's beautiful to see this. It's a very nice interpretation of what we put on the table, and for the others to understand. If you one way to start the rotation with the 3 cores without the motor, if you put this plate where it is now, is to rotate the both arms, the one which you put infinity on and the one you put M on, the G and M arms, very rapidly, very, very rapidly. If you rotate them at a high speed very rapidly in the future, if you can do, you create a magnetic vortex which will start the plasma in all your base reactors and the top reactor without any motors.
What do you mean rotate? You mean moving around? Or
moving around, yeah. I've done that with Marco's system. With the system.
What about, I had another idea. If I make the tube, very tiny tube, similar what Rick was showing, and I make this tube running through the GANs, running through.
You see, you can do it with a physical movement of the G and M arm on your drawing, or you can.
Yes, I understand. You mean here, these two.
These
yes,
two
I
arms.
can do it.
Or you can do it by variation in the power drainage from the set. If you start creating a variation in the field pool of the magnetical and gravitational ring, that will create a vortex of the fields, which will get the plasmas in your cores moving without the motor.
Yeah, this was my idea. Used to not move anything, just by drawing to make the fields run through.
Yeah. So you need a variation. You can move the 2 arms, or create a variation in field strength of the gravitational and magnetical, that it creates a dome and it reaches the 3 reactors at the bottom and the top one. This will give you the physicality state of the matter, which means then you see the spaceship drawing. This is how spaceship systems create their motion. If you have ever understood, let's go back to the system we see over Jerusalem on the Christmas day. That gives you an indication how the light outside suddenly start rotating, and then the system creates a barrier and it lifts up. The rotation of the gravitational magnetic field in your plate is the creator of the flow of the current in your plasmas, in your cores, and then the creation of the field and manifestation. In a slow rotation, you keep the structure all the time. If you can finish this into a physical unit, you will see for the first time the spaceship structure.
Yeah, there was some questions to build it. So example, one of the first questions, I will start winding the wires already last 2 days. This is all what I'm doing, winding the wires. So example, if I'm winding the wire, this is the thin one, to not go one and I want to expand it, like I was mentioning, can I to next one to make it wilder, I start from here, but it's bigger now. And then if I want to make it even bigger, I start from here and I go again bigger. Would this
yes, but you have to realize you go from gravitational to magnetical when you do this.
I changed it. But if I'm keep
no.
the same,
You see, no, go back to the pictures you put down. Go back to the pictures you put down, yeah?
Or make smaller.
You make it, and then you make a bigger one which goes over the smaller one, yeah? Up to the point where you put the pen down for the bigger, you are magnetical. The part which is inside the bigger one now is gravitational. You understand?
If I point the pin.
Yeah.
So I point the pin, then it's goes. It will not change the.
Doesn't matter. No.
Or pin another one as well.
Yeah. So the way you're showing it, you're mixing magnetical into gravitational.
So how I can do it to not mix it?
Conversion. Yeah. Mix it.
Because I don't want like example, if you getting the magnetical out, so it will go inside to another one in.
Okay, you can mix it, you can keep it separate. Okay, either way, when you do a physical separation, it's a different way. When you up to the point of the small one, you are magnetical. The minute you put the bigger spring over the smallest spring, the smallest spring is not magnetical anymore, it becomes gravitational in respect to the bigger spring. And the bigger spring becomes magnetical. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Then you don't have the separation of the fields. This is very dangerous if you lose control.
Yeah, that's why I thought that then better to make one long.
In a way, but you have to know. We show new technology, new systems. We are working with in the background, in the teachings. I can bring you into that group where with a few of us, 3-4 of us, we work. You can come into there to understand it. We don't release that yet because if it's not used properly as part of the weapon technology, which we haven't achieved world peace, and we are not prepared to release it, because then it can be abused. This is the amplification of the magnetic fields, and this amplification can be extremely dangerous. If you look, your gravitational is free, which means the system will absorb more energy from the environment, where your green, which is magnetical, is shorter. You understand?
No, they are equal. They are equal and they both ends with free. I was showing here from the pins.
No, they are not equal. They are not equal. They are not equal. You will come to understand the way I look at it. They are not equal, because even though you made the yin and yang, you still have the field forces of gravity being stronger than magnetical, because gravitational is always stronger. To you it looks equal, but to me, gravitational, you see, physically you drawn the picture, but you have to look at the work of the plasma.
Yes.
The plasma in equal in matter level, it means gravitational is always stronger.
All right, it makes sense. Yeah. I was working like I'm making these things also to like apply like health units, and I was thinking if it is equal, so basically you can point to the part of the body which is ill or had pain or something, and to the body can absorb the magnetic gravitational fields which is missing.
Good morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. So and then I was making few type of units how they could look. So I was trying to make like we have 7 chakras. So the 7.
Can you bring this up on Thursday? This side. Okay. First of all, understand that your energy systems are changed. I explained the foundation from the beginning, how it's changed, how the plasma energy has to be changed to a given package electron plasma vibration, not the energy of electron. Understand the terminology I use, electron plasma vibration, which means the energy released from the vibration of the electron that allows a system to run. Is not the energy of an electron, because electron does not open its plasma totally and give it to you. You have a vibration, that vibration of the bandwidth releases a package of energy which is very minute, and your plasma releases that energy as a DC, as a plasmatic condition. So understand the process, add to the process, add to the knowledge of humanity, that collectively we can head for a better change. Please participate